Lauren Southern has alleged that Andrew Tate drugged and raped her in a hotel room. Lauren has published her book, her memoirs, memoirs at 30, by the way, but okay. She's published her book she's been working on, and she put out a couple chapters for free on her Substack, including this chapter where she writes, "I'd rather not give a detailed account, so I'll keep it simple. He carried me back to the hotel room and asked me to sleep beside him. I said yes. I was incredibly intoxicated, and some part of me convinced myself that because he was Tommy's friend, he wasn't particularly dangerous. It was a poor decision, but it happened. He kissed me. I wasn't expecting it, and I wasn't looking for it, but I kissed him back briefly and then told him I wanted to sleep. I was extraordinarily tired. He wanted to go further. I said no very clearly multiple times. Tried to pull his hands off me. He put his arm around my neck and began strangling me unconscious. I tried to fight back. He repeatedly strangled me. Every time I regained enough consciousness to pull at his arms, I'd prefer not to share the rest. It's pretty obvious." For a little more context, Lauren was trying to get her documentary made, and her and Tommy Robinson went to Andrew Tate multiple times trying to get funding, trying to secure funding for this documentary from Tate, who has a lot of money. And so this was on like the third or whatever trip to see Tate. This happens. Andrew Tate says 5,000 retweets, and I'll release the texts of her begging for money for her company and begging to see me again. That has 7,000 retweets. I don't think he has, as of yet, released the text messages. But she also, she had put out a big tweet with like a link to her book and that. And Andrew Tate says, chooses the chapter about me to release for free to get attention so she can sell her memoirs of promiscuity. Coincidence, I'm sure. I'm glad you admit you're a drug addict in this post. That might explain why you forgot about all the texts you sent begging to see me again. Should I release them in my book? Sluts Who Begged for Me. So I guess after Tate raped her, allegedly, she went and did cocaine with Tommy. Last time I saw Tommy was in a hotel hallway. After we finished an interview, he was chasing me down the corridor, urging me to come back to his room and do some cocaine. I had no interest in returning to the spiral that began when he first introduced it to me at the club in the UK. I said I wouldn't be going down that road again. I walked away, and that's why he has some animosity towards me now. I was just as bad as Tommy. I didn't need cocaine. Rollo Tomasi posted these screenshots from him talking with Lauren's husband, ex-husband now. Rollo said, what was her involvement with Andrew Tate? And the ex-husband says, well, this I can answer. She used to cry about this to me a few times. It seemed like it was getting out online or something. Someone she had screwed over was trying to blackmail her back. I believe Milo. Again, I'm like, I have a normal professional life. What the fuck is all of this? It is just not normal. So to summarize, her and Tommy Robinson approached Andrew Tate to contribute money to an alt-right documentary. They went there and saw him personally in Romania. Lauren was attracted to Tate and visited him a few times and started making out and hanging out with during the trip. She went back alone another time to secure money for the project. She got very drunk and she was on her stomach on his bed, and he got on top of her, pulled her underwear off, and was about to enter her from behind. Lauren was drunk and resisted, told him no and stop, and then locked her legs together. Tate put her in a headlock and started to choke her out, telling her to open her legs. When he was finished, he said, so what? I raped you. You can't do anything about it. Fuck off. She was traumatized by this all and had a few days later had a cocaine bender in London with Tommy Robinson and her film. Oh, this is where I saw it. She had a cocaine bender in London with Tommy Robinson and her film crew. In the process, she got wasted again and gave Tommy Robinson a blowjob despite him being married.
Sent $3 Dr. Murdoch on suicide watch. Lol.
Yeah. Yeah. Destiny and Andrew Tate being Eskimo bros wasn't on my bingo card, but here we are. Oh no, the wheat fields. Gave Tommy a blowjob despite him being married. Apparently he told her they were splitting up. She was ashamed of all of this, and we had long and detailed conversation about this all, as she would be in tears about it as it was going to come out on socials at different times. I remain supportive and caring. It was before we were together. She's a self-inflicted damaged woman, mate, all for fame. It's actually sad. I mean, the fact that she told her husband she got raped years ago does sort of add a little bit of credibility to it, but I'll give my opinion on what happened here in a minute. There's still a little bit more important context you need to see. She states she got herpes from him. Andrew Tate has herpes? Man, how's that Playboy lifestyle? You know what's funny is this is how me and Tate first like connected and started talking. There was a thing about Michaela Peterson had herpes medication. I had tweeted, and this is way back on his old when he had like the Tate Speech Twitter account, way back before he was like big and famous. And I had tweeted at him like a picture of him with Michaela Peterson, like the tweet about her having herpes. And I said, sorry about your condition, bro, or something like that. And he replied, and he just said, trust in Tate. That's all he said. But apparently he gave herpes to Lauren Southern, according to Lauren's ex-husband. Tell me about Destiny. Lauren uses people to get what she wants. She comes across sincere about this as she doesn't realize she is doing it. Basically, once your utility is done, she just forgets about you. That's why she has very few friends and struggles to maintain relationships with people of any kind. Destiny was her ticket to getting back in the YouTuber game as somewhat reformed alt-righter, in my opinion. I received information that they were hanging out a lot when her US travel ban was lifted. They then started sleeping with each other as he is in some kind of relationship like that. Lauren then got pregnant and it was a girl. They then just started formalizing the relationship as I guess there is a kid involved. I do not know what happened to this child or anything moving forward since, however, have since been told she is seeing Tim Pool and he has given her a job or something. Did Lauren get in at Tenet Media by being romantically involved with Tim Pool? Am I the only guy on the dissident right who hasn't gotten a piece of that? Kind of, I don't know. I feel a little bit emasculated. I'm not going to lie. Kidding. Obviously, if there was a pregnancy, then the assumption at this point would either she got an abortion or kept the kid quiet. Secret, but it's not really super clear that there was a pregnancy. Lauren and Brittany teamed up to like send him fake hospital documents showing a pregnancy, which he then published, which they then proved that they forged. Destiny and Venti forged ultrasound medical records to discredit me and suppress what I was revealing. Anyway, big mess. But there's one more thing here. Andrew Tate's lawyer, I guess, one of his lawyers, CEO of the McBride, put out this statement. You know, Andrew Tate unequivocally repudiates the pathetic filth peddled by Lauren Southern in her pitiable tome, This Is Not Real Life, a washed up nobody loser memoir, if there ever was one, and on and on and on. There was no rape. Southern is a faded relic, destitute and desperate, scavenging scraps of relevance. And then Tommy Robinson said, sorry, it's bullocks. And it wasn't clear to me if he was going to stand up for his friend Lauren or what. But then I watched the video.
Here's a horrible fact, okay? I was there when Lauren Southern travelled to Romania with Andrew Tate. I was in the hotel room next door. When I walked out in the morning when we were leaving, Lauren Southern's at the door kissing him, okay? So when you read what she says there, like he's raped her, that's what she's implying. It's a bit weird to be kissing him on his door and then get in the car and message him the whole way. Insanity, absolute bullshit.
So now you have Tommy Robinson corroborating what Andrew Tate was saying, that she was messaging him, begging to see him, trying to get his money, and it's not looking good. It's I kind of, you know, I think two things can be true. Here's the thing. I think Tate could have forced himself on her to a degree that would be considered coercive, putting it diplomatically here. And that also she didn't have a problem with it until it became clear she wasn't going to be given a joint checking account with his billions of dollars. Like at first she tried to leverage the sex into a relationship of sorts with this rich guy, and then later when that never happened, then it's like, oh, he raped me, you know. If those DMs exist, then there's no rape case. This is like what they tried to do to Gian Gomeshi, the original Me Too. Some of you guys won't remember, but that was like a really big story. This guy, he's like a sadistic dude using his celebrity to like brutally like sexually assault these women, and then he was completely acquitted in court because he had all these text messages from the women being like, why are you ignoring me, when am I gonna see you again, you know, shit like that. And somebody said like, this is like just gossip, who cares? I mean, me, for starters. Yeah, I care, for starters. I love other people's gossip. I don't like my gossip, but I like other people's gossip, first of all. And second of all, you know, when the Destiny stuff came out, I was going to do a video about Lauren Southern, because Lauren Southern Lauren did this big article in whatever that magazine was about how she tried to do the trad marriage, but it was all a big lie and it's this fake ideology and you can't actually have a happy marriage in real life. Nobody's ever been happily married. It just doesn't work. And I was going to do a video about how, like, clearly this woman is not trad. Clearly she was not really that committed to the trad ideology to the degree where she would be allowed to say, hey, I tried this and it didn't work. You weren't trying that hard if you were going on cocaine benders and sucking the married dudes' dicks and that, you know what I mean? But I talked to Lauren and she was like, I talked to her and she was like, oh, like, kind of gave me her sob story and I felt bad for her and I never made the video. But like seeing this now, seeing all this other stuff, I'm more convinced than ever that I should have made the video because she's obviously not trad. But whatever, we'll leave it there. We'll leave it at that. Hey, what up, family? I'm a ding dong. It is I, your boy LP, and the clip you just watched is from my live stream show, The Daily Cope, which I do 4 to 5 times a week on Rumble, Odyssey, and my other YouTube channel. I will link all of them below if you want to check it out. And thanks for watching. Hope you're having a great day, and I will catch you on the flip side. Peace out.